It's time. Yeah. Woo! Woo! What's up? Feel it, y'all. Welcome to the Big Time Show tonight. Came on just a little bit early. Please don't ask me why. I just couldn't hold it no more. I just ready to go. We in the building. Listen, I hope you guys will come in, hit that like button as you come in. Hope that you would share. If you want to contribute to the podcast, look at that ticker there. The ticker down there, $ the Big Time Show on Cash App. You can do YouTube. You can use the Super Chat. button there with options there you can use. Also, if you're on Facebook, you can use those stars. Hello to those of you that are on TikTok, and I got to straighten something out on TikTok. TikTok is messing me up lately. I got to figure out why, and I don't know why. So, to be honest with you, I've been getting on TikTok. I have been getting hacked off of there. Not hacked, but put off there. And I'm on there now. And let me see what I can do. Hopefully, I can do something else. And I don't know what it is. I have no other idea. It's just horrible. I'm trying to fix it now, but forgive me. Hello to everybody that's there. Hopefully you guys on TikTok. Hopefully I'll be able to stay with you guys for a while. Hopefully. Hey, Lanny Pooh. Wherever you are, Lanny Pooh, I see you on TikTok. I'm gonna stop calling out these nicknames on TikTok too, because y'all got some names that might get me in trouble. I don't want to do all that. So I'm just gonna say hey. If you say hey, I'm gonna say hey too. Shit. Yeah, I'm gonna stop doing all that. Okay. Who else is here? Look and see so far. Mr. Burns, how you doing, sir? Mythic Max 10. Hello to you as well. Don't know who you are, but I appreciate you popping in on me. Hopefully you like football. You're in a good place to be. If you don't like the Cowboys, you still are in a good place to be, because most people that can't stand the Cowboys love to talk bad. So I welcome that here. And of course, if you are a Cowboy fan, then I hope that my contribution to Cowboy content world will keep you somewhat interested. How about that? What's going on? Let me see who else just popped in. Miss Verdi is in the house. I think Miss Verdi like me. I'm not talking about romantic type way. I think she liked my content. Miss Verdi been hanging with me for a minute. She's turning into a constant. I appreciate you, Miss Verdi. I thank you so much for taking out the time to come hang with your boy. Mr. Burns, I see you, man. Thank you, sir. Mr. Burns has been with me for a minute. Mr. Burns, where are you from? Where are you from? Miss Verdi, I never asked where are you from. Yeah, Miss Verdi, I know, I appreciate you. Where are y'all from? You want to talk about the draft, Mr. Burns? I'll go with that. I ain't gonna talk about players. I want to talk primarily about this coaching search that we're doing for DC and the news. I don't know if you guys have heard about it, but we have added a few more names to the list here. You're in Maryland. Okay, I got you, Miss Verdi. All right. That's good. Mr. Burns, if you don't mind, sir, where are you from? Karam in the building. What's up, man? I see you, man. The Cowboys, this is what I want to say, and I won't be long tonight because I want to watch the game with y'all. I gotta admit tonight that so far I'm liking what the Cowboys are doing as far as they're doing so far. Hey, Big Kerm, you in Baltimore. Appreciate you, brother. They're doing what you're in Texas. Okay, Mr. Burns, I got you. Appreciate you. What's going on with my screen? Do I look raggedy? Oh, that look right hard. I like look good. I don't look good with my background, man. It's like pure trash. I ain't no trashy type guy. Okay, there you go. All right. I like what they're doing as far as being thorough so far. You know, a lot of names are being mentioned. A lot of guys are scheduled for interviews. Um, they added today. One name in particular that I actually love, and I'll get to that in a second. But as you know, they have a interview scheduled with Coach White Cotton, who's already on staff. And then the name that I said, okay, yeah. We already know some of the previous names, Jim Leonard and all those people. But today they're going to be interviewing Coach Bart Orr. He is the defensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens, and has been the Baltimore Ravens DC for the last 2 to 3 years. I think 2 years. So Baltimore's defenses this year wasn't so great, but it wasn't bad either. But the Ravens traditionally, no matter who the coach was, they've always had one of those, beat you up defenses. If you watch Baltimore play any game this year, you'll notice how they fly to the ball. You notice the blitz packages. This is what Baltimore has always been. And the one that's been driving the car for the last 2 years have been at least Bart Orr, who played there as well. I love that. Now, here's the thing that I want to share with you guys that you may not know, because you're going to hear a lot of people have already kind of already predetermined who you want based off some of the names, excuse me, that you've heard. A lot of you already kind of leaning toward Leonard, which is cool. I like Leonard myself, and I wouldn't be mad if he got the job. And he's pretty good. I mean, with Denver, Denver had a great defense this year. He was a part of that as far as coaching goes. He's a smart young coach, obviously. I don't have no problem with it. Just give me somebody to know what they're doing. That's all I care about. However, with Bart Orr, there are a few things that you probably need to think about. And that is that Bart Orr and Coach Schottenheimer have history together. You got to keep that in mind. Okay. Coach Orr was with Coach Schottenheimer in Jacksonville, and it is reported that they have remained close ever since. So they coached together excuse me, I mean Zachary Orr. I mean Zach Orr. I don't know why I'm saying Orr. I said Bart Orr. I'm sorry. Zachary Orr. Thank you, Karan. I don't know why I said that. Why I get Bart? Bart Orr is a musician here in Memphis, in the church vernacular. That's why I'm thinking that. Bart Orr, one of the great organists, actually, who does a lot of work for recording stars in the gospel arena. That's why I said that. My bad. But it's Zach Orr. Zach Orr has had coaching jobs. Has a coaching job in Jacksonville with Coach Schottenheimer. So he's very familiar with him. It is reported again that they have stayed close. I wouldn't be surprised if his name came up because of Coach Schottenheimer. I wouldn't be surprised at all. And I don't think we can dismiss that just off the top. It was just announced a few hours ago, actually, that he's going to be interviewing. I don't, when you have a relationship with the head coach already or have had a previous relationship, or especially a working relationship with the head coach that's in place at the time, I don't think we can't dismiss that. And I believe that is a good name to go, to go with your Leonards. A lot of you guys still are hollering about Brian Flores and all that type of stuff. I think Mr. Orr's name need to go there. You're right, Karan. Leonard is, they're speaking, but he's familiar with Leonard as well. The coaches, I think Schottenheimer said that last year, that the coaches have a, kind of like a nice group that, names that the fan base hasn't heard. They know the coaches. They know who deserves respect. Leonard deserves respect because he keeps getting these titles added on to what he's doing. If you don't know nothing about Denver, he was the passing game coordinator. It helps in Denver that you got Patrick Surtain as one of your cornerbacks. I mean, come on, you got good safety play. Denver had a great defense this year, but he also had the tag as assistant head coach. The reason why you can't dismiss that is because of who the head coach is in Denver. Sean Payton, who is considered by everybody a great coach, decided to add that title to Leonard's name. He's 43 years old, if I'm not mistaken. That means something. For him to say that he's the second in charge as far as being the head coach. And he's just the passing game coordinator. He was not the defensive coordinator with Denver. But for him to get that tag, and maybe that's the case, and maybe that's how they get extra money for the assistant coaches. You add another title on it and, you do it. You might get the money that goes with that. And that may be a way that, owners keep guys there. We had that with Schottenheimer himself, named quarterback coach and also the offensive coordinator at one time. He's also, Kellen Moore was the same way here as well when he was offensive coordinator. So, but my point is that considering what Sean Payton thinks of Leonard, that carries a lot of weight. And so if we were to add, Leonard to this staff, I don't think nobody would be mad at all. Now, you may have had another choice, but you may not. You shouldn't be mad. Leonard played this game, I think, for over 10 years. He was an undrafted free agent when he got drafted. And for a man to play ball 10 plus years in the league, that's big. And then went straight to coaching. I mean, so his IQ got to be real good. I call myself, I didn't look at it all. I saw partially a coaching clinic that he did. It's on YouTube, where he was selected to talk to the coaches that was in college. A whole bunch of college coaches gathered there, and at the time he was at Wisconsin, and he was one of the leaders in talking to the coaches. That's big. So, I think mostly if you lined up 10 people who are kind of plugged in and kind of know what's going on as far as the Cowboys talking, I'm not talking about the beat writers. I'm talking about just people like myself content creators and those that are following you guys that are in the chat. You line up about 10 of us and say, well, who do you think is kind of leading right now? I think most will say it's got to be Leonard. It's got to be for now. But when you add in a Zachary Orr, okay, that may be another. Let me just put it this way: another guy just entered the range. See, when you start talking about White Cotton and this Gannon guy, who's been a defensive coordinator. See, in the case of White Cotton, I don't want nobody to take over the DC job that was a part of this defensive staff. It just White Cotton coached here. And, I ain't saying he was the play caller for defense, but he was a part of the staff that was ranked 32nd in the league. One of the worst defenses in the history of the NFL, as far as points go. Why would I hire him? I mean, me personally, that's me talking. Jones family, of course, think differently. Now I'll get to that in a second. But why would I want that? And I like White Cotton. Quentin Williams have said, y'all have heard it. Quentin Williams have said, look, this is the guy that elevated my career. And you got Quentin Williams, who may be a factor in that. Who knows? They may go to him and say, hey, you think he can do the job? Quentin may say, yeah, man. You want to satisfy your best player. It's kind of like basketball. If like, for instance, my team, the Lakers, please understand that any changes that's going to be made, please understand Luka and LeBron going to know about it. Used to be just LeBron. And if LeBron didn't like it, it didn't happen. I'm not saying that's the way it's going for the Cowboys, because I think it just stop with Jared. But I would believe that in the case of White Cotton, I would believe that they would call Quentin. Just ask them, and Quentin gonna vouch for him. You know that. It is what it is. And these hires are important. I see how Richard is in here from Philadelphia. Listen, West Philly, there you go. Got the Philly fans here. I ain't gonna troll y'all. I ain't got no reason to talk. Y'all made the playoffs. I will say this about y'all, though, and I think Richard said it best. Y'all missed Kellen Moore this year, didn't you? I had said that Philadelphia was going to have a problem. There's nowhere in the world you can lose, a coordinator that won the Super Bowl in Kellen Moore and then think that everything was going to stay the same when he left. And it's just no way. Y'all had a great defense with Fangio there, so that's cool. But there's no way in the world you're going to lose Kellen Moore, a guy that produced a 2,000-yard back, and Saquon, and 2 1,000-yard receivers and all that type of stuff. Jalen had a good year. There's no way in the world that won't be some type of drop-off. What's up, Gary? I see you. What's up, brother? That's the only thing I would say. Y'all biggest loss was not the injuries. It turns out, as West Phillies, as Richard said here, y'all biggest loss was losing Kellen Moore as y'all offensive coordinator. That's all I got to say about Philly. So, but I'll correlate that to the Cowboys and in any other team, that the hiring of these specific positions is huge, because it could be the difference in the case of the Philadelphia Eagles. You get the right coordinator in there, you can win the World Championship. And then if you don't have that same guy, you can lose like the Philadelphia Eagles did yesterday, with a coordinator that obviously didn't know what to do with the talent level that the Philadelphia Eagles had. It's really that simple. And so the Cowboys got to get this thing right. I'm really excited, because if you know anything about football and you know anything about Zach Orr with Baltimore, even though most people are kind of leaning toward Leonard already, you got to pause a little bit. You got to pause a little bit when you hear the names Zach Orr because of what he's done in Baltimore. As far as the defensive coordinator, Baltimore has not won the World Championship. They ain't won the Super Bowl. No, Lamar has not gotten them over the hump. But Baltimore has always been known as one of those defenses that's going to hit you in your mouth. It's just that simple. They kept the tradition of the great Ray Lewis and all those guys, Reed and all those guys. They kept the tradition. They carried it on. They didn't win the Super Bowl. They didn't win it, but they appreciate you, Richard. Yeah, man, 70 years old. I got you, man. Take your rest, brother. Thanks for popping in on me. Zach Orr, especially since he's had a relationship with Schottenheimer, I think we better pay attention to that one. I definitely think you need to pay attention to Leonard. I don't think we need to pay attention. At least this me. And I'll get into that part in just a second. I don't think we need to pay attention to White Cotton, but now that's what I think. However, when we start talking about the Jones family, we talk about something completely different. Because now we get into that cheap mentality. Like, if you were trying to get Brian Flores, who was already getting paid, I believe, $3 million from Minnesota, if you were gonna bring him to Dallas, you were gonna have to, add to that money there. He ain't coming to Dallas for $3 million. You would have to bump that thing up to maybe $4 million, maybe even $5 million. However, if you hire a White Cotton as your DC, you ain't paying him no big time money, and you can avoid that controversy of him bringing in a coordinator that's probably going to make just about almost the same amount of money as your head coach. See, we can't never leave out the cheap, pick-pack, flea market mentality of the Jones family, who are always trying to do something cheap, even though when it comes to coaches, there is no salary cap. But the Cowboys always have this cheap mentality. That's the way they think. They'll go get it. That's what you heard Jerry say. I go get a guy that's that's down and out, who's trying to fight back, and all that type of stuff. That's what he'll say real quick. And those guys don't cost nothing. That's what happened. It don't cost nothing. Yeah, exactly, Verdi. Exactly. You see what I'm saying? See when it comes to the Jones family, you got to add something to the football element. You got to add in this welfare mentality, cheap as possible. You got to add in the entertainment value of that. And see, it's sad because it's obvious that Coach Schottenheimer is strictly football. You know what I'm saying? You have to factor that in with the Jones family, even in the coaching thing. Like if you bring in a big name like Zach Orr, if you bring in maybe a Jim Leonard, these are names that are well respected that whatever you're offering White Cotton, if they were to offer something to White Cotton, you're gonna have to offer more to somebody like Leonard and Orr. And y'all know how the Cowboys are. They love promoting these jiffy oil change, mentality, man. These Home Depot prices. That's what we do. And in order to do what Schottenheimer probably wants to do, you got to go outside the box. I mean, why settle for third and fourth best when you obviously got some real serious candidates. At least it's there now. So again, let me pump the brakes and pull back just a little bit. I like what the Cowboys are doing. It seems that so far they are doing exactly what they said they would do. They told us that there's going to be a thorough search. Y'all been hearing a lot of names. Remember what I told you guys. If you guys saw the Cowboys OG podcast with myself and B-Bird and Cowboy Joe on Friday night, I told you guys I'm not about to go, and I'm not living off every word that Jerry Jones says, Steven, not even Schottenheimer. I'm not even doing that. Yeah. I can't do it, Gary. See, Gary understand. They the watered down, powdered milk guys. These Sesame Street coaches. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? You don't want the showroom flow coach. You want the Honda Accord. You just like you walking in the dealership. You say, "Can I see your latest Rolls Royce model?" And what a worker would say, "Can I show you this?" Say, "No." You walk in. No, Jerry said, "No, I don't want that. Can you carry me to the room where them Honda Accords at?" I mean, it's a car. It'll get you where you need to go. Same way that the Rolls Royce will get you there, but your preference always is the Honda Accord. They do it with players, and then they'll do it with even selecting coaches. And so you got to get this thing right. Yeah. Gary, yes sir. You go car guys, exactly. See what I'm saying? I don't even know why White Cotton would even. This is just me. I'm gonna say it again. I don't know why White Cotton would even be in the equation. I wouldn't even waste my time interviewing him. You was a part of this staff. I don't want nobody talking about they're gonna be my defensive coordinator from this past year's staff. I don't want nobody. I don't care who it is. I don't care if he elevated Quinn Williams' career to an all-time level. I don't care. You was a part of this staff. Nobody from this year's staff should be even in consideration for DC. You can be a position coach. You can do that, but not being my head DC. No, I can't do that. I like White Cotton. I think he was an asset. See, I can't argue with White Cotton's thing because the defensive line, once Quinn Williams got here, and you paired him with Kenny Clark and Olsen, you ran that bare front like that with 5 guys down, we shut down the run. I think we finished at about, I don't want to misquote it, but I believe before the game started, we was in the top 15 in the run defense. I mean, that may not be big to you, but before Quentin Williams, we was down, even further. I'm just saying that's contributed to White Cotton. You bring in an all-pro player like Quentin Williams, guess what? You're gonna get some all-pro production. You pair him with Kenny Clark, guess what? You're gonna get some real production. And if you put Osa out there, with all 3 of them out there together, guess what? You're gonna turn to a pretty good run defense. So White Cotton had a lot to do with that. Clowney, Izaraku, all that. He had something to do with that. I don't mind him being there. Cool. Just as a position coach, but not my DC. No. And plus he ain't never done it. I don't want White Cotton there. Don't even waste my time with that. Go give me the best. Whatever the best is. If it's Leonard, so be it. I'm cool with it. If I like Orr, but the Cowboys may not like Orr. I know Schottenheimer likes him. He knows him, and he's worked with him in Jacksonville, and I'm quite sure his name came up. So he already knows what he's about. It's can you knock their socks off in the interview process. And I think that the one that has to be impressed to me is Coach Schottenheimer. Man, long as Jerry Jones stay out the way, go on, J.R. Ewing. Go on, look. Go on, get on your yacht. Float on. Go on, let Schottenheimer handle this. Please. He'll keep you informed. He'll call you. He'll let you know what was said. And matter of fact, they'll video it. Get the link, send it to your computer. You can watch it. If you want to be a part of it, you send in your taped question and go like that. Well, I don't need you trying to stop it. All Jerry want to know is with Zach Orr, how much did he get paid in Baltimore? Oh, I already know it. I got to pay him then if he gonna come. That's all Jerry worried about. He don't know about no defense. Stephen Jones, get your Joker-looking tail on somewhere too, man. Stop it. Just let Schottenheimer do that. I'm not trying to be funny tonight, but the checking part is coming out of me right now. I'm just saying. We tried it y'all way. Y'all way led to this last ranked defense. Y'all hired Eberflus. I know you're trying to push it on Schottenheimer. Stop lying. Y'all hired him. Stay out the way. Your way don't work. Let Schottenheimer do it. He know what he know what type of coordinator he needs. But as an organization, so far, see, I'm not going to go along with the optimism. I'm all I'm looking for, like I told you guys the other day. When I see something pop on my phone where it say breaking news, that's when I'll come on and say something. I ain't falling for the okie doke. I'm not going off speculation. I'm not going off hope. I want to know the bottom line. Breaking news. That's when I say, okay, now we're talking. I ain't falling for Jerry stuff this year. I'm not going for it. I'm not getting hype about names that's going to be called in free agency. I've been there and done that. All I want to know is who's in the building. Did you offer him a contract? See, if you get him in the building, that don't mean nothing. They let Bobby Wagner in the building. Didn't even offer him a contract. That's before he went to Washington. Didn't even offer it to him. Got him in the building. Dan Quinn was there. Didn't even offer him a contract. So just getting him in the building is not enough, at least for me. I have to see something. Now, somebody asked earlier, who we gonna get in the draft? What's up, Terry? I see you. Then I go from my perspective. Then I go with what we've seen over the last few years from the Jones family. Me, at 12, okay, at pick 12, there's going to be a choice that's going to have to be made of what you want, because I believe all of it will be there for you. I don't know if Caleb Downs will be there. I doubt it, even though it's kind of hard sometimes to think that a safety will be picked, crazy high. But in this case, he very well may be. You will have a linebacker there. You will have probably an edge there at 12. And we all know we need defense, but the element that we're not factoring in is the Cowboys version of free agency. You see, again, when you have this Nickelodeon mentality for free agents, that would kind of answer what you're going to do in the draft. at least in our case. Like, for instance, if we, right now, think about our cornerback room. Think about we ain't got no cornerback. None. So Diggs is gone. Bland is coming off a foot surgery again. Okay. I don't know what his foot gonna be like when he get back. I don't know what it's gonna be like. I don't know. I know he's had foot problems, and if you know anything about people, athletes that have foot problems, yeah, you may have surgeries, but it don't mean it's fixed. I don't know if it may take some of his speed away. I don't know if he can really play. I don't know nothing about Bland. I know we don't have no cornerback. We got Reedy Stewart. I mean, come on now. We don't have no corners. So, here's my question. Do the Cowboys go into free agency and get a veteran corner, at least one, and then hope that Bland is good to go? Or do the Cowboys take care of that need through free agency? Through the draft. Because there are a couple, or there's definitely one cornerback from LSU that a lot of people can have him going pretty high. See what I'm saying? So a lot of this, a lot of people say we need an edge rusher. We need an edge rusher. And I agree. And of course, you will have an edge rusher in there that I know for sure would be there. A lot of y'all talk about Max Crosby, but you're going to have to give up a lot to get him. So I don't think Max Crosby is going to be on the list, to be honest with you. However, Trey Hendrickson is there. And I already know what y'all saying. He old. I don't want to hear that. He's going to have fresh legs. Talking about a guy who consistently gets 15 plus sacks a year. He's 33, I believe. I mean, you can't say nothing. Clowney came in here off the couch and lit it up. Now you get a natural pass rusher. You pair Trey Hendrickson, who will be a free agent. It's going to cost you. But you pair him up with a Osa and a Kenny Clark and a Quentin Williams. Guess what? You got a pretty good D-line. Right off the top. I ain't call out Isaraku. Do the Cowboys say, okay, because they're going to have the money. Are they going to say, okay, we're going for it. We're going to go and pay Trey Hendrickson. I'm just throwing his name out because that's going to be one of the guys that's going to be there in free agency. And there's a need that the Cowboys obviously need is a pass rusher. And a guy that's good against the run. That's Trey Hendrickson. But unfortunately, you going to have to pay that dude. You going to have to pay that dude. You ain't going to have to pay him what Michael Parsons got, but you going to have to pay him. Probably somewhere in the $30 million range. Somewhere. If it ain't 30, it's a little less. I just don't see Trey Hendrickson getting paid less than $30 million. But I'm just saying. Do you handle it that way? Or do you go into the draft and, I doubt that a guy like Bain from Miami will be there, but you have a David Bailey there from Texas Tech, who you might even get at 20. But Bain, I doubt Bain will be there, but at 12. But just in case he falls to 12, do you take and say, okay, I'll take Bain and pair him up with Osa and Quentin Williams and Kenny Clark, and let's roll? Do you take care of it that way? See what I'm saying? So, me personally, I don't know what we need. I know what we need. We need linebacker play as well. Do you do it? Or do you go and get a vet that can play, I may add? You see what I'm saying? It depends, Shane, on the player. See, I love Bain from Miami. I love him. And actually, he's my guy off the board. If I had a choice. Yeah, Chris, I see it. I love Bain. And in true Cowboy Jerry Jones like mentality, that would be good. If Bain is anywhere near what he is like he is in Miami, then you'll get that guy for 5 years on a rookie deal. That's the Cowboy way right there. However, you have to balance that off with by saying, okay, really, how much of a window do we really have? If we're really talking about really trying to win the Super Bowl, what, 2-3 years maybe? With Dak playing like this? I mean, so in order to win, in other words, you got to make your mind up, Shane. Like, with one of the biggest power problems we had on defense last year was obvious that we had no pass rush, none. Which means if you don't have no pass rush, your cornerback's gonna get tore up because the quarterback gonna have all the time in the world, and they can't hold receivers like that. We saw that. So one of the glaring things is you ought to be trying to look for pass rush, and a good one, so that your average cornerbacks can at least at times get their hands on the ball because the quarterback gonna be sped up. So to me, your question really is, do I want to work with the Dallas Cowboy? Do I want to work with the Dallas Cowboy draft and developmental system for 2 to 3 years with somebody like a Bain, of course? Do you really got time for that? Because just because he's great in Miami don't mean he's going to be great in the league. See what I'm saying? Or do you want to roll the dice that way? Or, I'm just throwing the name out because I know he's going to be in free agency. Do you want to go ahead and get a guy in like a Trey Hendrickson that is proven and can get the job done day one? Day one. Or do you got to wait like you've been waiting for Donovan Izaraku right now? Donovan Izaraku, I believe, led the country at Boston College in sacks when he came out. That's why the Cowboys loved him. That's why they drafted him in the second round. What did he do his rookie year? How many sacks he had? What, 2? Well, like Boston College, was it? So just because you're great in college don't mean you're going to be great in the league. And see, that's the question that the Cowboys got to answer. I love Bain, for instance. I love the kid from Texas Tech. I like Bailey. I love him. But the tackles in the league are much different than the tackles that's in college. Donovan killed at Boston College. And, he got better as the year went by, even with some of his pressures. But as far as getting the quarterback on the ground, he didn't do that. Clown had led the team in sacks. That ought to tell you something. So that's the question. Do you got time with youth to develop? Or do you go ahead and get a real vet in here? And I think that depends on the position, Shane. I think when it comes to pass rush, we had any type of pass rush last year. You could add maybe about 3-4 more wins on our record just for this season. We couldn't close the game down. Offense scoring, and the other team come right back and score. We couldn't stop nobody. Couldn't put no pressure on the quarterback. We made bad quarterbacks look great. I think when it comes to defensive end, you ain't got time to wait. You need a guy. Forget the potential of a guy. No, I need a guy. That's me now. Cowboys may say differently, but I need a guy. I got Quinn Williams. I got Osa. I got Kenneth Clark. Why not stack the deck on that line? See, I believe you need to be dominant. If you want a great defense, you need to be dominant with one player on every level of the defense. I need at least one dominant player on the defensive line. I need a dominant guy on linebacker, and I need one dominant guy in the secondary, whether that's corner or safety. If I can get 3 of those guys that are dominant, I already know my defense is going to be real, real good. Your defense right now has, and if you're not going to do that, you better make sure that you get dominant on the area that you are real good at. The way I look at it is, on this defense right now, the best position that we're real good at is defensive line. So if we ain't going to get the linebackers that we need, we're not going to get the cornerbacks that we need, you better get real dominant on the defensive line. And we're almost there, to be honest with you, as a unit. That is, as a unit. See, which one sound better? Kenny Clark, Quinn Williams, Osa, Izaraku, and Bain? Or Kenny Clark, Quinn Williams, Osa, Izaraku, and Trey Hendricks? Which one you think scary? So you can't double none of that. You can't double that. You can't double none of that. And if you do, that's one-on-one in a few places. And you got that type of dude, Trey Hendrickson with Quentin Williams on the same line. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's scary. That's scary. That's you walk in day one with immediate respect from from offensive coordinators. Seriously. So that's why I say it depends on the position. Linebacker, I need a vet there. I ain't got time for no rookies. We saw that with Shamar James. There's a lot to learn from the linebacker position. If you're gonna have a rookie quarterback, he better be like Patrick Surtain was his rookie year. Because they're gonna go at the rookie. Better find somebody that can play. And again, how much really of a window do we have? You know, that remains to be seen. But let me tell you what I think gonna happen, y'all. And the only reason why I'm saying this because I done watched the Jones family for years. Y'all check this out. For those who had heard me say this before, I'll say it again. If everything go like what everybody's saying, Terrence Steele will be cut or released, I'm sorry. His money will become available. That's about $12, $13, $14 million, right? If you release him, that means that your starting right tackle is gone. That leaves a hole, right? At right tackle. Okay. Y'all gonna sit there and act like y'all don't understand that the Cowboys love drafting offensive linemen in the first round? Just saying. I'm just saying. And there will be, at 12, no doubt, a kid there at right tackle. Again, let's visit the University of Miami. Francis Mulagana, whatever his name is. He's projected to go in the top 13, 14 in the draft. He'll be sitting right there. He'll be sitting right there probably, staring you dead in your face. And you know the Cowboys love drafting offensive linemen in the first round. While everybody talking about defense, and everybody talking about that, the Cowboys and Schottenheimer, I already said when he got here, you got to win on the line. And then the idea of having, let's see, BB, young, he's young. You got Tyler Guyton, who's young. You got Tyler Smith, who's young. You got Booker, who's young. And now you get a guy drafted in the draft, tackle from Miami from there. And you talk about a line that possibly could be together for the next 9 to 10 years. You don't think the Cowboys ain't thinking that way? You already know they are, because that's what they do. And while you'll have a defensive player right there staring you in your face, You'll have a guy named Caleb Downs, even though I don't think he'll be there. He'll be standing right there. The Cowboys will pick a lineman. I'm just trying to prepare y'all now. If Terrence Steele leaves, they ain't finna spend no money, no free agents for no tackle. They ain't finna do that. They don't have no problem drafting the guy in the first round and sticking them in there and try to work. We saw that with Guyton. We saw that with BB. We saw that with Tyler Booker. They don't have no problem drafting the guy and putting them right in the fire from the get-go. They don't have no problem with that. They're not gonna get no vet at right tackle. No, they're gonna let this little line grow together. I'm telling y'all. If y'all don't know what I'm talking about, go look at Francis. I may be pronouncing his name wrong. Mulligani, I believe his name. From Miami, right tackle. Go look at him. I love him. He's a dog. He's mean. Big dude, about 6'5", 340 some odd pounds, right tackle, and he ain't slow. He's an absolute monster. He when he run blocking is incredible. You know, on the college level with Miami, pass blocking, he gets his hand on you, done. I love him. It wouldn't be actually a bad pick. It would not be. It's just that everybody's mind set on getting the defense, getting a pass rusher, getting this and that. And I'm telling y'all, Cowboys something right be right there at 12 and will pick a lineman again. Especially if Terrence Steele is gone. That's what you need to pay attention to. If they let go of Terrence Steele. If they let go of Terrence Steele, I'm telling y'all thinking defense. It might be offense again. With pick number 20, there's gonna be some good football players at 20. That might be a defensive pick. But then again, you know how the Cowboys are. There's gonna be a lot of teams gonna be calling them, trying to get the pick. Cowboys don't have a pick, I believe, in the second and third round. You gonna come up and get that first round pick, you gotta pay. Cowboys might go back just to get back into the second and third round. Good. Just saying. I think all the options are on the table. You could draft a good player there depending on who it is, if they're there. If your guy's there, you grab them. You grab them. Just that simple. And so it's interesting. We're going about, hey, what's up? What's up, Kelly? Kale's in the building. Appreciate you. I'm going to bring her on the show, y'all. I found a superstar. She's a young lady who is dynamic, knows her stuff. She's well connected. I'm going to introduce some of y'all to her. I'm going to bring her in on the show here very, very soon. She know more than I know. I'm just telling y'all. Detailed, very thorough. I'm gonna bring her on. Kelly Collins. She's known as Kales. Got to bring her on the show. She will correct anything that I'm saying. She's almost kind of like an angel, a guardian angel. She may watch what you say. Hey, Joe, what's up, man? I see you, man. Thanks for popping in. It is wide open. There's a few things. Kales can appreciate this. We said this on our brother, Mr. Cowboy Nation show. There are a few dates that you need to pay attention to that will determine how serious the Cowboys are. I don't know if you guys know it or not. The East-West Shrine game and the Senior Bowl will happen in the next 2 weeks. Or both of those games saying will happen in the next 2 to 3 weeks. And of course, this is the time when the staff goes down and evaluates players, and some of them are able to talk to players and interview them and all that kind of stuff. all the players there. Okay. Don't you think you need to have a defensive coordinator in place by then? You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? You got to have that in place. I don't need Jerry, Steve, and Will and Coach Schottenheimer going down there evaluating players. I don't want that. Cause see, I'm saying I see you, Kel. We're gonna talk. I don't need the opinion of Will and Shotty about defensive players, and then you bring in a defensive coordinator in, and the players that they like, he may not like at all. I need him there from the get-go. I need him there. So in other words, I believe that it's not going to be too much longer before they say, okay, the Cowboys have hired this dude to be our defensive coordinator. I believe they need to be in place when they head down there. And this is what happened in the next 3 weeks, y'all. That'll tell me how serious they are. If they fly down there and ain't no defense coordinator been hired, I got a problem. Now that's me. You may not have a problem. I will. Seriously. This is almost kind of like, watch this, it's almost like order. It's really like protocol. Get your coach there, let him go down with the staff, let him start looking at players, and bam, this is what I like. This fits my system. What good is it gonna do for Will and everybody else, and Jerry and Steven? Yeah, we like this guy. Yeah, I like him. But what defensive scheme you running? Are you running 3-4? You running 4-3? What you running? You running what are you running? Bare front? What over 4-3 over, 4-3 under? What are you running? What kind of nickel packages do this coordinator like? You don't know, and then you're gonna bring a coordinator. Yeah, you better get a coordinator in place. Hello. Let's get a coordinator in place. Because the time is ticking right now. That's why you're seeing all these guys' names come up. I got a feeling that they know this. And I got a feeling that they doing their due diligence. They're doing their due diligence. I love it. And for now, it's not a rush right now. But they need to be in place before they get on their airplane, getting ready to go to them bowl games. Oh, there's no question about that. It needs to happen. The world famous star boy in the building, the legend himself. My brother came in. Exactly. Kels is absolutely right. That's all I'm saying. I'm not. It just need to happen. First, you got to get interview first. It's a process, one by one. They're being very thorough. They said they were going to do a very thorough so far by the names that you're hearing. They're doing exactly what they said they were going to do. I'm cool with it as of right now. As of right now, I like what they're doing. Yeah, respect to the legend. Star boy in the building. The legend. I consider it an honor to have him pop in on me. The star boy may not stay long, but hey, appreciate you, star boy. I'm just saying, so far, so good. That's what I'm here to say. So far, so good. For all of you that have leaned toward Leonard, pump the brakes a little bit. Pump the brakes. When they said Zachary Orr, and considering that they coached him and Schottenheimer coached together at Jacksonville, and he's very familiar with Orr, you might need to pump the brakes just a little bit. I'm not saying that that's what's gonna happen, but I love that Zach Orr is being interviewed for the defensive coordinator position. I love it. I love his defense. I love Leonard. I love the pick of Leonard. I just like that there's a little tension there now. Because everybody was saying, "Oh, it's Leonard's job." Everybody can see that it's Leonard. It's Leonard. I don't know. I don't know that. I don't know. I don't think it's white cotton. God bless him. No, it ain't white cotton. I think you need to pay attention. I'm not saying it's gonna be all, but I'm saying that pump the brakes just a little bit. Pump the brakes. Joe, I don't think it's up to Jerry. I really believe in this case he really is, as of right now. I think that Jerry is out of the way. Jerry gonna be there at the end, and he gonna talk and do all that type of stuff. But I really believe that he is allowing Shotty to be Shotty. I have no way of proving that. Now I do got somebody in this chat that may have a little bit more insight than I have, and that's Kales, who well, I had to introduce y'all. Exactly, no white cotton. Exactly, no sir. I had already said that, Star Boy. I said earlier, I don't want nobody from last year's defense being the offensive coordinator. It just don't make sense. You're already a part of it. I don't want that. It's common sense to me, but common sense ain't common. You know what I'm saying? And when we start talking about Jerry and Steven, you know what I'm talking about? They do the total opposite of common sense sometimes. So I don't want that. And I know that Quentin Williams, as I said before, will vouch for White Cotton in a very strong way. And I'm quite sure the defensive linemen will vouch for White Cotton, because that's what he coaches. I guarantee you they would. Just because they vouch for him, they mean he need to be the defensive coordinator. I ain't for that. I just like the tension that is being developed with some of these names, that it just ain't a foregone conclusion that this guy is the guy. Like everybody was saying, it's Leonard. You said Zachary Orr. Okay. Pump your brakes just a tad. That's all I'm gonna say. All right. As far as the draft goes, I've already kind of went over that. I'll transition to that more with the shows that's going, and we'll talk about potential guys. I think is wide open in the draft as far as your options are. I'm not talking about players. Well, I am talking about players, but I'm also talking about, it depends on what you do in the free agency market. It also depends on your thirst. Notice the word I said. Your thirst to get back into possibly the second and third round. And if that is the case, then the trading option is on the board. Or are the Cowboys going to be satisfied with just drafting those 2 picks in the first round and roll and wait until their next available pick, which is much later in the draft, considering that their pick would be at 20. I'm just saying. Yeah, I said that earlier, Kales, that I believe that his job will be there because of Quentin Williams vouching for him, because of Kenneth Clark vouching for him. I would assume that Osa probably would vouch for him too. So I believe that he would be at least a defensive line coach, because the truth of the matter is He didn't do a bad job at all, especially after the trade. You could see the difference, especially when they went to that 5-man front. You could see the difference on the run. We stopped the run. And that White Cotton deserves credit for that. So I would believe that I don't think they'll want to take Quentin off at all. I don't think Quentin Williams would be too happy if White Cotton is not on this staff. I really believe that just because of Quentin Williams on this team, the White Cotton job, at least as defensive line coach, would be safe. I mean, if I was there, I would do that. I would keep White Cotton for that. I don't want him as our defensive coordinator. I don't want him as that. That's me. All right. Man, look, I'm going to get on, let some of y'all guys watch this wild card. You know, I hate the Philadelphia Eagles and I hate the San Francisco 49ers. I was going to lose either way. I hate the Pittsburgh Steelers. See, I'm an old Cowboy fan. I just gave y'all about 3 of the teams that older Cowboy fans such as myself can't stand. I really, if you're a real, me, Cowboy fan since 4 years old, 1977 is when I fell in love. At 4 years old, the Cowboys, I'm 52 now. 52 years old. The two teams that stand out the most as far as hatred goes is the San Francisco 49ers and the Pittsburgh Steelers for the amount of pain that they gave me in the 70s and the 80s and some of the 90s. I ain't really just had a problem with Philadelphia. I don't like them. But I don't like them because they're a division, folk. I definitely don't like them. But I really don't like the 49ers and the Steelers. I mean, I see Terry Bradshaw right now. I'm subject to drop kick him dead in his chest. I'm serious. Just like the Rock and Roll Express. Just drop kick him dead in his chest. Right now. The old as Terry Bradshaw is. I'm serious. I see Jerry Rice. Man, if you don't sit your dancing with the stars looking tail down somewhere, man, I swear I'm going to clothesline him like the Undertaker. I mean, I don't like him. I'm serious. I was in Las Vegas and Jerry Rice was there. And you had this line, and I could have been about third in line. I don't like Jerry Rice, and I know he's the greatest wide receiver of all time. Some people will argue and say he may be the greatest football player of all time. I get all that. I didn't even get in the line. That's how much I don't like the 49ers. I swear, I don't like them. I don't like the 49ers. I don't like Jerry. If I see Joe Montana right now, I will hit his Charlie's Angels looking tail right in his face. As old as Joe is, he put pain into me. I'm serious. So I care less about that. The 49ers pulled it out against the Eagles. I hope the 49ers get their brains beat out next week. You understand? I don't. Somebody had to win. I don't like the Steelers. And check it out. And check it out. Mike Tomlin's my fraternity brother. Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. I like Mike. Shook his hand. And then washed it immediately. I don't want none of the Steelers stuff on me. I gave him our grip and fraternity and all that type of stuff. But I don't like. I got a problem. I'm cheering for the Houston Texans. I'm serious. I am. I don't like these guys. I'm sorry. It's in me. It's in me. I'm sorry. All right. Y'all stay with me. Next show, This is about quick as I'm gonna do it. I'll even open up the lines on the next show. I'm gonna open up the lines on the next show, and we'll talk a little bit more um, about the draft. Hopefully, we'll get some more news. We'll probably hear some more names as far as potential interviews for the defensive coordinator position. But until then, exactly. Oh, he did. Thomas brought your cousin in. Oh, yeah. Fred Noop is a cool dude. He is. I don't know him personally. I just shook his hand and said something to him. Just pass him. Cool guy. Love his coaching. I will give him that. Love his coaching. He's a great coach. A Hall of Fame coach, actually. And Pittsburgh gonna be something to deal with tonight too. You just dropped 2 names. What you say? Oh, see, let me put this across here. See, I need to. See, I'm gonna bring Kels on here probably one of these shows coming up. See, she's plugged in. I'm just gonna leave it at that. She's really plugged in. And I ain't talking about no guessing. She knows. And I let her, she told me I know what she knows, where she gets her stuff from. And I let her tell it. I ain't gonna say it. I'm just trust me when I tell you. She's plugged in. So when you see these names here, okay, pay attention. Matter of fact, screenshot this and watch these names come up. That's all I'm gonna say. Y'all see Jonathan Cooley and Chuck Pagano? Okay. You ain't heard that yet, have you? You ain't heard them names yet, have you? Take a screenshot of this and then watch those names come up as an interview for the job. Okay? And remember where you saw it from. I can't take no credit for it. Okay? Y'all see that there? See the name at the bottom there? It says Kelly C. Collins. We call her Kels. Okay? Remember. See what I'm saying? Y'all see her, right? And y'all gotta watch Kels. Kels will take over the show too. See, when I bring her on, she gonna take over the show. I'm just telling y'all. I'm just gonna sit back and look. I'm gonna let her take over the show. I ain't gonna let her. She gonna take over the show, and I'm just gonna try to chime in. It's gonna be like I'm the co-host or something. But look, she's plugged in. So when if y'all looking at the chat, I'm telling y'all, she knows. All right. See what I'm saying? Look, y'all see that? Look, listen to what she's saying. See? Look at this. See right there? I gotta bring her on. I almost need to do a just say this is Zeta's take. Exactly. Y'all known for that. Y'all known for that. So, I almost need to start doing a show from now until preseason. I almost need to do a show where I bring Kels in, kind of like the Cowboys corner with Kels. Bring her on for about 20, 30 minutes. She ended up staying an hour anyway. So, I mean, even though I give her 20 minutes, 30 minutes, she ain't gonna leave. So she'll stay for an hour. But what you gonna get is true information. You see, she said she'll know more soon. I ain't gonna say nothing. Kels, you see how nice I am? I was gonna say what but I ain't gonna say nothing. All right. Anyway, appreciate y'all tonight. Y'all enjoy the rest of your evening. Most of you went to work today. Y'all enjoy yourself. Some of y'all watching the game. Listen, we got a lot to talk about. I know why my crowd is down tonight because I know I probably boss is on, and I bet your boss is on. Law may be on or whatever. Started off pretty good. We done died down now. But I appreciate all my good people that's hanging with your boy, and I appreciate you so much, so much. Starboy, if you still in here, man, thank you so much for popping in on me. Kales, the great. I already know you said I'm finna take 1920. Oh, I love it. I love it. She's so funny. I love it. All right, we done tonight. I'll see you guys soon. All right. And we'll do it again. All right. Until later. Kids, you ain't never watch how I close out the show. Watch my outro. Real production, you know what I'm talking about? Nuke way. You understand? All right. I'll holler at y'all. We'll see you. This has been the one and the only, the big time show.